Hi everyone, I'm Imaad Sheikh and I'm 20 years old. So, first off, why am I sitting in the car is because I'm in the middle of Western Ghats and I was traveling. So, I kind of put the spot here so that's why I'm in a car. That's okay. Um, how did I start my open learning? Fun fact, my dad owns a school. So, he told me that 600 बच्चे पढ़ रहे हैं, about can I use Hindi?
Go ahead. Let's see. If people object, we'll have to translate it for them. So mix
Okay,
in the
okay.
English, whatever you are
No,
comfortable
no.
with.
Yeah, yeah. So, so I was in fifth standard. Papa ki, it was my father's school. He got a complaint from the teacher here. She said that he's not concentrating in any subjects. He doesn't mingle with other kids and all of that. So my dad asked me, "Oh, what's happening?" So I told him, "मेरे को ये सब पढ़ना, sorry, I don't want to do all this uh, subjects and all of that." He knew that I was sharp in other things, but this I was not getting into. So fifth standard was the last standard I did regularly in the normal school. After that, 13, I guess 14 institutions or places like Aarohi, I have changed. I have been in 13 to 14 different places, universities, international schools, whatever you want to call it, in 20 years of my whole life, right? So, so I started shifting into other universities which I could relate to. I couldn't relate to any of those. And then at last I ended up in Aarohi. I was about 14, 15 years old when I was in Aarohi. Not 14, 13, I guess. 13 years old. 4 years I was in Aarohi. Um, what I wanted to become was a pilot, right? I wanted to become a commercial pilot. I started my journey of becoming a commercial pilot. For 3 years, I practiced becoming a commercial pilot, like how I'm going to become a commercial pilot, what it takes to become a commercial pilot, what is the journey, what do you want to learn, what are the certificates you want to have. So 3 years I did the commercial pilot thing. In the journey, I talked to a lot of pilots, right? The commercial pilots. Uh, all of them, like I talked to about 50 to 45 of them. All of them told me that this is not the peaceful job or the job you want to have, whatever you're looking into. So then I dropped commercial pilots. The whole me becoming a commercial pilot suddenly, and then I started doing what I wanted to do, like what I'm doing right now, is business, right? I am into business, and yeah, so that's what I do right now. I'm 20 years old, and yeah, currently I'm doing business with my dad. The business is I'm trying to create a product which I can display to the wider audience. Yeah, that is me till now.
Imaad, little talk about thanks, but a little talk also about how you have been to grow this business inside you, how you have been doing, associating, interning with different organizations, trying to understand, doing different things. Somehow I want to highlight your doing part, the doing Imaad, because that's how I know you. Right. So little talk about that. I think that's very, very valuable because most of the people think that, oh, I need to study something, while what you show is what you believe in and what your dad believes in and what we all like is this doing part. That's learned by doing stuff. So a little share about that. Different things that you have been doing, not that you have been only doing one thing, and I like that.
Yeah. So doing is like my core thing, right? I don't. Um, I'm always up there for exploring. I never plan some things a lot. Like I plan it, but not in very detailed. So out there, I'm just like whatever's happening, I'm towards it, right? Even my father tells he has a lot of connections in businesses, but he doesn't give it to me just like that. He tells me कि आपको explore करना है उसे. So I go in there, explore it. So that's what the doing part is. Um, yeah.
So maybe a quick list just to give people an idea. What are the different things you have done in the last few years? Different things. It's a list just to give an idea.
Okay, yeah. So a lot of things. Lately I'm into a lot of things. I was into a lot of things. I have done video, whatever. Do you want me to share all those, like the?
Whatever is coming to your mind, just share. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm into.
We are valuing your sharing. So go ahead.
Okay. So I'm into video creations. I'm into product making. I'm into just making stuff. Um, I'm into a lot of aeronautics, space. I'm into everything. Wherever I go, I'm like, yeah, बहुत अच्छा है ये. So I can't list it out, but yeah, I've done those things to see what they throw back at me. So yeah. So yeah, it's video editing, making, uh, going to different places, exploring a lot of things, and then commercial pilots, sports, football.
Sports
Uh,
industry is one thing you are seriously looking into. Yes.
yeah, sports, and then yeah, food. Yeah, right now I'm
Food
trying to
industry.
create food industry and all of that. Yeah, I've done a lot of things. I cannot name it.
No,
It's,
just to get a sense of that. That's
yeah,
the whole idea. Yeah.
so I've never been restricted or
Imaad,
yeah.
can you just share that part wherein you were just going to in flare, you were just going to share that my father said कि 600 बच्चे पढ़ रहे हैं, something like that. You were starting, and then with the Hindi thing, you just left it there. Can you just continue there?
Yeah. So, yeah, my father runs a school. It's not because he wants to profit out of it. It's just because we live in a very small town, so he wants to provide a certain kind of education. But for me, he has a different, an agenda. When I was in fifth standard, he did not tell the teacher कि आप he did not tell the teacher कि he did not tell me कि why aren't you studying and all of that. He took me to a farm and then he told me what's happening. Like he asked me क्या चल रहा है आपके दिमाग में. He knew that I liked a lot of different things, so that's why he shifted me into this open learning space. He asked me like करना क्या चाहते हो आप. So I told him I don't want to learn. I don't want to be like the other kids. So yeah, that is where I shifted my whole thing of not going into a traditional schooling. So yeah. Is that what you were asking, or I just completely?
I just wanted that dialogue. 600 बच्चे पढ़ रहे हैं, फिर आगे क्या? Something he said.
Chase? No. I was trying to say, yeah, 600. He had told me something. I was saying that 600 बच्चे वहाँ पे पढ़ रहे हैं, लेकिन मेरे को उन्होंने उठा के वहाँ पे रख दिया. तो ऐसा है. Because he educates so many people. It is a traditional school, right? The school is a traditional school, but I am anti-traditional school. So he was like, so I was also shocked. A lot of people were shocked. Till date, they are shocked. Like, what is he doing? You are running a school and he is not doing anything traditional and all that.
Okay, Imaad, you're okay. We can open up to the audience. People can ask you questions.
Yeah. Please ask me questions because I'm not able to speak.
Yes. So the floor is open. Please, please ask questions, whatever you want to. And
can I go first?
Yeah, anybody. It's an open thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting, Emma. I just want to know, like, so many things you are exploring. How was? I think I understand your father could understand you, and he could give you that freedom. But still, did you do it all alone? Like, what was the support from your parents, or you had to explore all these places all by yourself? What was going on in your mind during those periods?
So I would like to go a little back in our generation. So my grandfather is a very top notch farmer. Okay, so he has got three doctorates, and he left schooling when he was in ninth. He left schooling because he couldn't pay the full fees. Okay, so he today he has a very huge name, and he's just bonkers all about it. He's no more, but so he was all that kind of thing. every single time my father talks about this traditional schooling, he's always like, you cannot build something, or you cannot have a very good foundation, or you cannot live a happy life. Sorry, but these words can hurt your kind of thing. You cannot have a happy life till you do something you love, right? uh, Even Steve Jobs told that the real flex in this in the life is doing some earning money by doing something you love. So my father, my grandfather, they both are the same niche. My father also, he started everything whatever he's doing today when he was 17, 19. He left. He did the degrees and all of that, but he was never serious about it. So the support has always been there. He has never restricted me from doing exploring anything new, but he has restricted me where I could go down. But yeah, so that's the support he has always provided me with. Because it has been in his generations, right? We have been breaking the traditional schooling journey in our generation. So that was my whatever help he did. So that's what his mindset is all about. So that's how he supports me.
That was the support. I think I have a follow-up question. When you are exploring this, was there a fear factor? Like, I'm wasting time.
Mm.
Um, like, is this right thing I'm doing? Am I going to waste time? Did that come? Like, so many things you explored. Every time you stopped and you changed, did that come into picture? Like, oh, I wasted time. I should have done something. Any comparison was happening with your peer group doing something else?
Uh, the first time, the second time, the third time, yeah, a little bit fear was there for me, but not for my parents. The fourth, the fifth, the sixth, whatever times I changed, every single time I changed the passion, the profession, or the exploring. I learned something from it. Right, I used to learn something from it. Whenever I did the piloting course, I talked to so many pilots. They all told me that this is not how it's done. It's not the way you think it is. So I learned a lot of things while I was doing it. Right, I never मेरे को कभी negative नहीं हुआ इसमें से. I was not in the लॉस तो कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा था मेरे को इसमें. एवरीथिंग वाज पॉजिटिव, एवरीथिंग वाज स्टेबल. सो फियर फैक्टर फॉर अ फ्यू months or maybe a year or so, yeah, it was there for me. But after that, I'm chill, like डरना नहीं है इसमें.
One more, sorry, I'll take up one more last question. So another thing is, when you are exploring this, I think, did it this may cost you something, go learn something, or you know uh, for you, maybe your parents were supporting. They might be having to spend money, and what is the outcome? Do you think it may work for everybody? Like, investing time and not getting anything. Some of the things may require money. You invest time and they may not find that interesting later. So if parents are able to afford, that is different thing. But maybe somewhere you had that stability in your parents, this may not affect them. But in case if you had the factor, this may not. I mean. My parents may not be able to afford this. That stability was not there. Do you think you would have taken so many uh, challenges or explorations of change of interests, exploring them? Sorry if it is.
Yeah. So when I was 13 years old, I wouldn't have taken that risk. But right now, if you would have asked me, yeah, I would have taken the whole risk of whatever this might take me to. Because the thing is that I don't want. The only thing I always keep remembering is I don't want to be like everybody else in this world. I want to be something else, or if it is good or bad, I don't care. But I don't want to be like everyone else. So I think this puts me in there. So when I was 13 years old, my parents pushed me towards it. uh, Not pushed me, but they showed me a way that there's something like this too. But
Supported.
yeah, so when I was 13 years old, I wouldn't have done it. But if if I was this age, then I would have done it from now on. So yeah, affordability, supportiveness. Back then, I wouldn't have done it, but this age, I would have done it. That answers your question.
One more beautiful thing that Imaad has also highlighted, that everything that he was picking up, he was learning from it. It was never a failure for her, or he was never taking it like I'm quitting from it. He took the beautiful learning part of it and then moved on to the next thing.
Yeah. So,
More questions from different people who are there in this call. You may have a different thought in your mind.
Yeah.
That
Could you share like how you found your final calling and how Aarohi helped you find it?
Aarohi, imagine I'm in a big ocean and a boat comes and picks you up. That's what Aarohi did for me. I was all over the place, but then Aarohi suddenly came and then it actually did the whole thing where today I'm standing, right? So it put me into structure. Ki you have to do all these things to get here, right? So back then I was like, मेरे को सिर्फ pilot बनना है. कैसे बनना है? I don't know. But when I came to Aarohi, then I knew, okay, first you have to do 10th, then you have to do 12th, then you have to write something called an R1 exam, then you have to do typewriting, then you have to go get the license, then you have to go to the airline, then go tell them that I am a pilot, then you have to pay them, then you become a pilot, then you become a first officer, then after that you become a captain, after that you become a flight instructor. So that's what Aarohi taught me. Of course, not the commercial pilot thing, but that's what Aarohi taught me, how to handle your profession or how to handle your passion, And Aarohi also taught me that this is also a way, you don't have to always say that many 96% kiya hai 10th mein, that he's the only big person and all of that. So that's what Aarohi has helped me with.
Yeah, I have a relative who wants to become pilot. I wanted to show this to him, so I was asking you how you found that is not what you wanted to become and how you found your true calling. So how did that happen through Aarohi or whatever ways?
Should I say the specifically how did that happen? Or
Yeah. For you specifically, how did that happen?
So Ratnesh used to always tell me that कि जाके बात करो दूसरों से, talk to other people that how they have become a pilot or what is their journey, how did they overcome all the things. So for the first thing was whenever I used to fly, I used to go after they have landed. I used to go. I used to say, "Hi, can I ask you a question?" Yeah. Then they used to tell me that I want to become a pilot. I'm very interested in all that. Every single time they used to tell me, "This is not a good job. It is very boring. Aapko, you have to wake up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, on all of that. For passion, for a very big dream, you whatever you're thinking about this dream, this is ain't gonna happen. But for a good profession, this is a good profession." So that's how I learned. Then after that, uh, I came down. So I had to do 10th, right? So 10th, I did not like doing it, trigonometry and all of that, but I was doing it for the pilot course itself. So yeah, the whole thing of becoming the writing 10th and 12th and all of those exams, that was becoming kind of a burden for me because I left fifth. That I left fifth because I don't had to write all these things, but then I was coming back to it, so I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. One more thing was that it was a very closed, like I said, I don't want to be some like everyone else. It was a very closed structure. For 10 years you become a first officer, then 15 years piloting. So I was like, freedom nahi mil rahi yahan pe. You have to work under someone. So also my grandfather told me that he told me, we have never worked under a particular boss, then why are you trying to work under a boss? So boss. So that's why I left piloting.
Yeah, but who
Commercial.
is funding your business? Like, are you? Can you tell about your business? Because it looks like from what even Vijayta was asking, maybe you're a rich parents' kid and you had the luxury to do all this, and they're still funding your business. And how do we know that? Can you
I
tell
want
about your
to
business?
I want to interfere here. Even if I assume that his father has billions, he would not give a single rupee to Imaad. He will let Imaad, knowing his dad, he will push Imaad to figure out how he does it.
I'm going to answer this question, this particular question. Ratnesh. Okay. So I'm going to give you an example. I had been to a very big office. Right. He owns the India's circular chain of food production, all of that. He knows my dad. So I was like, oh, I was very happy that I'm going to get a connection between these two and all of that. My dad made me sit outside his office. He told me that मैंने ये connection बनाया, आपने नहीं बनाया है. So he does all of that things. So to answer Ratesh's point, yeah, he does that. He never lets me go. Even even the managers, his managers, he has told them that you're not going to call him sir, you're not going to call him anything. He's working under you, he's not working over you. He doesn't have that much information that you're going to call him sir or you're going to take orders from him. So whenever I go to the factory, whenever I go to the production lineup, I'm supposed to work as a labor. I'm supposed to see what's the only freedom I have is going entering the production line. That's it. I'm not allowed to make calls and then say ऐसा करो वैसा करो. No, I
Could
could
you
have.
elaborate more about your business that you're doing right now? What is the business and how are you earning and like how much your turnover is and what are you doing right now?
Turnovers. I
Pradeep, we
can't.
will leave that part. I don't think
Okay.
that's really important. What is really important is, yeah, the journey part. How has he been doing different things? And I think that's one of the things why at least I called Imaad for this call. Apart from just knowing his journey, is to emphasize on the whole aspect. So it's not about Imaad per se, but it's about how he personifies the whole joy of learning by doing. Okay? And it's the joy of learning. And forget the earning part. In fact, I don't think Imaad is already earning. He's still trying to figure out which business is it. Imaad, talk about that part. So, yeah.
I am still trying to. Yeah, like Ratesh has told me. You guys think no, that's nothing. Uh, I'm in a very low stage of business, as my dad calls it. He tells me that you have to explore a lot of things. I am not earning anything. I'm earning, but I'm not earning. And yeah, so I'm still exploring. I'm doing the business to support my other business. I'm not going into this business and then pursuing the whole thing. uh, so to clarify my goal right here, I am trying to build a very strong financial stage, right? To where I want to climb, where I want to go, where my goal is. I have to have a very strong financial stage. So I'm working on that first. I'm not going. I'm my dad. Of course, he's not going to lend me money. So for my goal, I have to build the financial stage, and then I have to climb on that. So I told my dad about my goal. So he asked me. So he told me, and okay, now try to find out how you're going to reach it. So the first thing was I have to find a financial. So he gave me ways. Okay, this is the way. This is the way. This is the way. This is the way. Of course, he was never going to lend me money, and I'm never going to ask him to give me the money. So yeah, it's his factory, it's his labs, it's his farming, it's his everything. I'm just going in there, learning how he's doing it. I only travel with him to see how he does it and all of that, right? After that, it's all my thing. So that's how
And
all of this.
Imaad, you also want to share how you've also worked with other organizations, not only his father's organizations, but other production units, other research units, trying to
Yeah.
see how. Yeah.
So it's just not working with my father is also like working with others. That's how he treats me. But again, he has thrown me into other directions, telling me to go there and do it. I've worked with a lot of organizations, a lot of production lineups. I worked in Delhi and all of that. It's a very I'm anti-social. I don't like a lot of social people coming and asking me a lot of questions. It is a very big hurdle for me to go enter their factory and not tell them my dad's name and tell my own name and tell them that I want to see how it's done. मेरे को बहुत बार बाहर भी कर दिया गया है. You cannot do that. So yeah, it's a good thing, whenever I am exploring.